Whether you work in games, architecture, or 3D printing, resizing models to specific dimensions is something you likely have to do on a regular basis. To make this task easier, today I'm going to demonstrate my free modifier for 3ds Max that I've developed over the past year called Rapid Resize. You can get it for free from the ScriptSpot website. The link will be in the video description. Just download the file from ScriptSpot, place it in your plugins folder, and restart Max. You'll then have a new modifier in your drop-down list called Rapid Resize. In fact, I use this so much now that I have it permanently assigned to one of my modifier buttons. Okay, so just bear with me for a few minutes here and I'll show you just how useful this modifier is. Here we have a scene of a game character, vaulting over a cover object, which is a typical animation you see in games. Now, the requirements for cover objects are that they are exactly 95 centimeters tall. So I can verify this by selecting this cover object and applying a Rapid Resize modifier, and I can see right here under the dimensions, under the Z-axis, it's 95 centimeters tall. And that's actually useful use for this modifier. Even if you're not doing any scaling, you can simply apply it and see your object's dimensions. So right beside it here we have a desk model, and I also want to use this as a cover object in the game. So it needs to be exactly 95 centimeters tall. Now traditionally you'd play with the scale tool and maybe turn on snaps and try and scale it up to exactly match this cover object. But then, of course, and when you're done, you have to reset the transforms and before it's ready to export to a game engine. So Rapid Resize makes this a breeze. Just apply the modifier. I'm going to click on Keep Proportions, and since I know it needs to be 95 centimeters tall, I can just simply type in 95, and it scales up to the exact size I need, just like that. Now you can see it's kind of clipping in here, and which brings me to the next feature of the modifier. Let me hit Reset, is that I can use these pivot presets to change the anchor point from which this model is scaled. So you'll see it's right in the center right now. I'm just going to choose -X and -Y, and that's going to put the anchor point right at this front leg here. So now, when I scale it up to 95, it uses this as an anchor point and doesn't clip into this other object here. So it's another really useful feature. And one other thing I want to point out is that with this modifier, you do not have to reset transforms. It doesn't affect the transform of the object. So whether you choose to leave the modifier on there or collapse it down, this is ready to export. So you can non-destructively scale objects without having to worry about resetting transforms. In fact, you can stack multiple Rapid Resize modifiers on top of each other for variations. So say I want to export this and make another version where I maybe just want to adjust the Y-axis a little bit. And actually I'll put the pivot at the front leg and then do it and then pull it in a bit. So you can have different variations of your object non-destructively and never have to worry about resetting transforms. So that's the first scenario. Okay, the next example I want to show is that it also works across multiple objects. So here I have a model here, and it's actually comprised of 16 different objects, which I want to keep separate in case I need to modify them in the future. You'll see this one part of the model has a bunch of modifiers on it, and I might need to go back and change things at some point, so I don't want to combine this into one model. But that's no problem here. We can simply select all the parts of this model, apply a Rapid Resize modifier, and then it treats the dimensions as if it's one model. So I can then rescale this and resize it as a whole. So let me first put the Z anchor point right at the base of the model here. And then I can use this just to do some general resizing and rescaling. Say I want to clean up these dimensions a bit. I want to make these nice even numbers, so I can make the x-axis 136 by 225 by 45. Okay, and then everything is nice and tidy here, and it's non-destructive. I can always go back and then modify the individual objects. I just remove the rapid resize modifier and then reapply it when I'm ready to do some more resizing. So very useful in that you can also use this modifier to resize objects, multiple objects, as if they were one. So that just about wraps it up. Go grab this. It's free. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you find it useful. Bye-bye.